Hi drummers, hope you're well. Right, Spin Doctors, Two Princes, main groove goes like this. It's a really funky groove, man, and I think a really sort of deceptively tricky one to nail down. I reckon there are three distinctive features here: the funky bass drum part, the pattern of ghosted snare drum notes, and also that little open hi-hat on beat one every 2 bars. So I'm talking here about the main groove. The big fill at the start of this song, of course, is iconic, and I've got a video about that. I'll link to that below. This is the main sort of 2-bar groove that goes round and round, particularly in the verses. At its heart, it's a straight 8s feel, a basic pop rock type of beat. So hi-hat plays 8th notes, snare drum plays 2 and 4. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. I think where I'd be tempted to go next is the bass drum part. Now the bass drum part goes... So in the first bar, you've got 1 and 2 and a 3 and 4 and in the second bar, 1 and 2 and a 3 and 4 and. Both bars are pretty funky, aren't they? People always ask me when I put these videos up, like, what grade level are these at? Now that's a definite set of skills involved in the bass drum there that starts at around grade 3. Depending what syllabus you're doing a little bit, and moves to grade 4, grade 5, and I reckon at this sort of tempo complexity, I reckon this is a 5 or a 6 here, not least because of the bass drum part. So the bass drum has got that classic coordination of some of the kick drums are with the hi-hat and some of them are in between. So I'm just going to play on that a little bit now. The hi-hat, which is closed just for now, the bass drum part, which is the full bass drum part, and the snare drum, which is for now just the big backbeat on 2 and 4. So 1 and 2 and a 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and a 3 and 4. Do that a couple more times. So there, at that slower speed, just doing it with the kick and the hi-hat, we're around grade 3, I reckon. The next thing that might be nice to add in is these ghosted notes on the snare drum. So once you're comfortable with that and you can play it at about song speed, once you can play... Time to start thinking about those ghosted notes. Now, so often in like funky type of music, that ghosted notes are what it's all about. That's what, for me, when I listen to this, is what completely brings it to life. And just like the kick part, for me, if you get the ghost note part right here, you play it in the way that's authentic to the original, it elevates it like crazy. When you see a band playing this, right, covering this, or a drummer covering this, a lot of drummers will just play something vaguely funky, and that's fine. For me, like, when you really take the time to learn the part and play it in the authentic way, like straight away, even people who don't play the drums, or in fact especially people who don't play the drums, will say that thing of like, oh, that feels just right, man. You played that and it just felt right. And often they'll ascribe that to sort of, you know, I often talk about this, and I'll ascribe it to talent. They'll say, oh, you're so talented, you know, you captured the feel, fine, but like you do that by learning the notes, right? You do that by truly engaging with the part and learning it. So we're going to look at the ghosted note bit here, and let's take the bass drum now out and just play the hands part. It goes like this. So 1 E and 1 E and. You getting that? So hi-hat on its own, snare drum ghosted on its own, and then both together. 1 E and for beat 1, 1 E and. On beat 2, 2 E and So 2 itself is the hi-hat and the backbeat loud snare. E is a quiet snare, ghosted. And is the hi-hat. And then quiet snares. Here's the moment on beat 2. Now that is it. What I've covered there in beats 1 and beats 2, that appears to be it. Those two, that little 2 beat phrase in this case just rolls round. So 1 E and 2 E and a 3 E and 4 E and a 1 E and 2 E and a 3 E and 4 E and you got it? 1 E and hi-hat snare both. 2 E and a 2 E and a loud snare and hi-hat, snare, hi-hat, snare. 2 E and a 1 E and 2 E and a 3 E and 4 E and a 1 E. So this is the basic hand part. And you might just want to play that for a while. Depends where you're at, obviously, with your drumming. You might want to just play that for a while and get the feel for it. Maybe with a very basic kick part. And then once that's comfortable, bit by bit, start putting those 2 things together that you've learned. Remember your bass drum part. And your hand part. So that's the challenge, putting those 2 things together. And then you're almost there. The last little thing is that nice open hi-hat on beat 1 of every 2 bars, and then it closes again on the and. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and. So here we go. I'll slow it right down. Hopefully that all makes a bit of sense. I found that pretty tricky, pretty challenging, and something about the way the ghosted notes work with the kick pattern, I found that not massively instinctive, but often when you're learning grooves like this, that's the point, right? If you're starting from a viewpoint of like, I'm learning stuff like this because I like it and I want to play it, but also because I'm improving my drumming skill. I just think this is such a healthy thing to do. I found this a little bit of a challenge when I first looked at it, and I think that's so great because what we're doing here is not forcing our brains, but we're just gently nudging our brains in a direction of something that they can't already do, right? If that's the case, it was for me a little bit, and that's absolutely massive because what you're doing there is you're giving your brain a chance to develop. You're giving your drumming a chance to go somewhere. That's really a big part of this, whether it's drum grades or learning songs like this. Yeah, it's great to learn the song in its own right. That's super cool. But what a lovely thing when you actually genuinely improve as a result, and the end result is you can play something that you couldn't do before, and also you've just again nudged your brain and potentially sort of from this your creativity, what might come next in a new direction by exposing your brain to sort of new possibilities, new combinations. I think it's such a healthy thing to do and can only sort of lead to growth. So it's kind of a cool thing in that way. So I hope that's useful. Good challenging groove. Yeah, if you saw that in a rock and pop grade, maybe a 6, something like that, I reckon, 5 or a 6. So I hope that all makes a bit of sense. Any questions about that or anything else, give us a shout. Have some fun with it. Thanks for watching as always. Please like, share and subscribe. And thanks as always to all the lovely, lovely people who've bought me a coffee. Oh, I'm going to do some shout outs. You can support this channel if you've watched these videos and found them useful or enjoyable or valuable in some way. If you want to support this channel, help it grow, you can buy me a coffee. Thanks a million to Neil, who just bought me some nice coffees. Appreciate that so much, Neil. Or if you want to really support this channel, help it grow and get a load of stuff in return, you can become a channel member. Shout out to Robert and Anita, who joined up in the last day or so. Thanks a million, guys. I hugely appreciate it. As a channel member, yeah, you're supporting this channel, helping it grow. It's £10 a month. You'll get a whole load of stuff in return. You get a discount on drum lessons, on Zoom lessons, a 20% discount. You get a practice plan, a personalized practice plan written for you. Get members videos, video responses to your questions, and I'll be on hand for your drum support. You message me anytime and I'll message you back. I'll give you a video response to help you out with what you're working on. So I'll be on hand to help you as you go on your little drumming journey, so to speak. Thanks a million for watching and for all the lovely people who've supported in that way. And good luck with your spin doctors. See you soon. Cheers.